Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Brianna Guy. She's the program director for Hirundo Wildlife Refuge, and she's here today to talk about the fun that is mud season at Hirundo and Maine in general. Brianna, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. I'm always excited to come on here and sort of have the opportunity to connect people with nature.
Yep.
And
I mean, that's your job, right?
Yeah, and point out the things that maybe you'd miss changing throughout the seasons if you weren't paying attention. Although mud season is not one that you'd probably miss.
Right.
Although I feel like I'm surprised by it every year.
Every year. Oh yeah, there's always something. And, you know, erosion's always an issue. But hey, so the thing that people may notice if they're going to Hirundo that we may want to talk about, or if they go to other places, is that flooding may block off certain places that you want to explore right now. Is that an issue for you guys?
Yeah, a little. I mean, not so much of an issue. We've got other trails, but yeah, some of our trails are really, really flooded. And so you can't walk on them, which is unfortunate.
We have photos. Can we pull those up? Sorry, a little chaotic. I'll just talk to her. Hey, director man, there we go.
Yeah, so you can see our interpretive signage way far, that you're supposed to be able to walk out to it and read it, and you can't. And it's unfortunate that you can't get out there, but it's also so beautiful to see the trees in the water.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like mangroves. We were talking about that before. It's like, oh, you're not even in Maine.
Yeah, it's super beautiful. And it's really important. So as unfortunate as the flooding is sometimes, it can be frustrating, mud season, can't get around as much. It's really, really important for our wildlife and nature in general, our trees. We have a lot of silver maples, which thrive in the flooded environment. It kind of keeps it to themselves because they're good at it and other trees aren't.
Right.
We've got beavers that use that to move the trees throughout that they've knocked down to bring to where they need to go. It makes it much easier to move them.
I don't remember the last time I saw a beaver out in the wildlife either. So that's would be a good place to go if you want to see some wildlife.
This is a good time to look for them. They're getting busy. This is really a good time for them to move their materials through the woods. There's just so much going on. I could go on forever.
Right.
The nutrients that come through because of that is really important.
Right.
And just flooding in general is really important for our frogs and salamanders and turtles.
So if you're a nature lover, going to Hirundo at this time, there's all sorts of beautiful processes that you may only be able to observe a few weeks out of the year.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
also, is there paddling through the flooded parts? Is that something that's available?
Yeah, so our paddle season kind of starts right now.
Yep.
And
wear a life jacket. We just had a story on that. It's really cold.
Yes, yes. And the cool thing about this flooding is that while you're paddling on the water, you can actually paddle through the trees. Yeah. And it's really, really pretty, and you might be able to run into one of those beavers.
I know, right? Or like the salamanders or frogs, that which would lead to what else we want to talk about this morning is what's it called? The longest night?
Big night.
Big night.
Big night.
And it's known as Big Night for the amphibians.
Yes, Big Night for the amphibians, but also us because we interact with each other so much. Yeah. So amphibians are migrating, frogs and salamanders are migrating to those flooded areas where they can lay their eggs in those pools of water that aren't there the rest of the year.
Right.
So it's a really important time, and we actually have Greg LeClaire from Maine Big Night, the program, coming out to Hirundo on Saturday to show us, teach us about it, and we'll try and look for some frogs and salamanders, and I'm sure we'll be successful.
Cool. So when and where, if you want to be at that
that is
event?
at Hirundo in Old Town, right at Gate 1. You can check our Facebook at Hirundo Wildlife Refuge, our Instagram. We have it on Eventbrite. You can find it almost anywhere. If you just Google it, we'll come right up.
You guys are good. You guys are really good about sharing your events. I see them on Facebook all the time. But cool, all sorts of stuff going on, and we'll have to have you back soon to talk about, it seems like only more and more stuff is going on.
Spring's a big season. Big season for wildlife, big season for us.
Yeah, oh, so exciting. Well, thanks for coming on and talking about what's going on at Hirundo.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. We'll send it over to Devin Biggs for our full weather forecast.